back to the intolerances because we know from our business, everyone's like, oh, I'm intolerant to dairy. Intolerant to dairy, I get a runny nose, I've done a lab, yada, yada, yada. But I know you talk about how even the day of the lab having a severe blood sugar handling issue, or if you have a damaged metabolism, you can't regulate blood sugar, that can actually create the mechanism in the GI system to create the intolerance. Can you talk about that a little bit and the validity of the food intolerance lab in regards to dairy?
The tests for allergens are really just a very vague indicator of the fact that your immune system reacts to everything you are exposed to, and usually the finding the antibodies to a particular substance mean that you have become tolerant to that substance. So I just don't pay any attention to the lab tests for allergies. But the intestine adjusts its enzymes within just a few weeks. Usually it only takes 2 weeks to have a complete adaptation of the digestive enzymes. But until your intestine has adjusted its enzymes to a new kind of diet, much of that food is going to be undigested, and it will feed bacteria rather than feeding the person. And the strange new growth of bacteria will produce lots of chemicals that can be toxic and allergenic. And so if a person isn't used to eating vegetables and they eat vegetables, they'll often get a sore throat and runny nose, sore joints, headaches, and so on. And it's much of the food sensitivity issues just adapting too suddenly to a diet, failing to adapt when they change because they do it too suddenly.
So you're saying when somebody introduces milk back into the diet to take it very, very slowly for the purpose of allowing the body to adapt?
Yeah. Even if a person does have lactose intolerance from a lactase deficiency, tests of that have found that if they drink a cup per meal or less, they don't have the diarrhea that could be produced by drinking a pint of milk on an empty stomach. And even if they have had biopsies that show a deficiency of the lactase enzyme, that can be induced in about 2 weeks just by introducing an occasional small amount of milk with their diet. The enzymes the cells sense the presence of a nutrient, and the enzymes are gradually induced until the intestine can then handle normal amounts. And bacterial infections and inflammation can cause the loss of lactase enzymes and probably many other important digestive enzymes. And experiments with supplementing thyroid or progesterone have found that you can induce or restore the lactase that has been deficient just by increasing those anti-stress hormones.